The phenomena of shadow people is something that I've talked about before on my channel, and of course I had that really crazy experience when I was a kid, but I don't have any sort of video footage of that experience. So I went on a hunt to find different footage for you guys of shadow people that people have managed to capture on camera. Number one is from a YouTuber called 23rd SAS. You can see him just sort of filming around his house. He seems to just be goofing around like he's just doing some kind of chore of his home or something like that. But his tone completely changes when he sees a shadow walk across the screen of his camera.
This is my mommy's room. This is my stairs. Oh my god.
You can tell from his reaction that he probably wasn't expecting that. The second one is from a YouTuber called Tracy, and she and her husband were on holiday at a castle in England called Haddington. You can hear some voices, but she said because of the echo of the castle, they sound a lot closer than they actually are. She turns the camera around so that you can see she's actually alone in the room where she's filming. I'd also say, judging by her reaction to the shadow when she sees it, it's more likely to be real than not.
Sure, Bucky, I just saw a shadow across the wall.
The third one is from a YouTuber called Suspect Sky. He and his wife feel like there's an intruder in the house, and you can see them kind of get up, look around. They've got the camera, probably hoping to catch the face of whoever's broken into their house. They're trying to leave when they unknowingly capture this shadow in their footage. They didn't actually notice the shadow until they played it back later in the evening, and it thoroughly freaked both of them out. For the fourth one, the way that it's shot, it kind of looks like this person has seen this shadow before and they're trying to catch it again. So they've got the camera set up so that it's filming the closet, and then you just sort of see the shadow materialize in front of them. And number five, a guy called Daniel Christensen's dog starts growling. So Daniel gets up to try and see what the dog is freaking out over, and with his camera he manages to capture this. You can see kind of the side of the upper body of the shadow. Number six is really unnerving just because it happened on live TV. So we're watching this wrestling match when you see a shadow stand up and walk across the stand. It almost seems like the shadow was actually watching the game and then they stood up to leave. But the producers of the show said that they have no idea what this shadow was. They deny editing it into the footage, so we can only imagine what that actually was. In number seven, you can see an employee of Aeromexico. He's walking through the cabin of one of their planes. The way he's going quite slowly and looking at everything quite methodically, it kind of just seems like he's doing some sort of investigation into the cabin of the plane. But when his camera spots a shadow at the back of the cabin, he freaks out and runs out of the plane. You can only think that because he was investigating, there might have been a report of somebody having broken into the plane, and maybe this was them running across the back of the cabin. But the way that it moves and the way that it's shaped is still really creepy. Number 8 shows what appears to be two guys wandering around an abandoned building. What's so creepy about this one is that it happens in broad daylight, so clearly it doesn't have to be like 3 in the morning for you to see these things. You can see the guy who's filming walking around filming the ruins of the house, but then when he goes inside and aims the camera up, you can see what seems to be some sort of shadow figure walking across the upper part of the house. This could have been a burglar or someone else trespassing, but they would have had to have been wearing a black ski mask or something like that. Number 9 happens in sort of similar circumstances. You can see this person just filming around what seems to be some sort of sale going on when he spots a shadow that sort of disappears into itself, which is quite similar to the experience that I had. Number 10, you see a group of people just sitting around what seems to be some kind of office. There's a couple of people on the computer and there's a person in the corner. They're just kind of doing their own thing. But when the person who's filming turns the camera towards the hallway, they see what seems to be a shadow walking across the hall. You can tell that this clearly freaks the person out. So those are 10 of the creepiest shadow person videos that I was able to find on the internet. Hopefully you found it at least somewhat interesting, somewhat enjoyable. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope that I will see you in my next video.